everyone, Lori from Women's Health on the Go. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to talk to you about something that I do every day of the week. It's got a lot of great health benefits, and that's talking about herbal infusions. So let's get started. So let's talk about nourishing herbal infusions. So this is something that I personally do every day. I do find it very to be beneficial. When we have herbs, there's different ways that we can extract the medicinal properties of the herb, whether it's creating a tincture with alcohol, whether it's using a vinegar for cooking, or an oil extract, depending on, sometimes people make like salves and stuff, but also for their cooking as well. Another way is actually extracting it with water, and you can either do it with cold water or hot water. And the reason why we do this is because, and I've said this in previous videos, when we take a plant and an herb, inside that plant is all like lots of nutrients, minerals, vitamins in there, and they have components that kind of work together in order for when we consume it, for it to get absorbed and the best amount to be absorbed into our bodies and used in our bodies, as compared to when we take a vitamin which is manufactured in a plant somewhere, like in a factory or something like that. Those are taking the chemical, the different vitamins and minerals from basically a plant, and then just putting it into a pill. And your body doesn't know how to process that as much as they do what we call a whole food supplement. Sometimes you can get, besides herbal infusions, you can get a whole food supplement, which is basically a vitamin, and it's just compressed food. So the difference is that here, your body, when you're doing herbal infusion, your body is actually going to be able to process and get the correct nutrients and the most amount of nutrients to put into your body, as compared to taking like a vitamin from the store. So that's one of the benefits. And there's different, we're going to go over, I have a couple of them here. There are lots of herbs that you can actually do herbal infusions. Right now I typically do 4 or 5, and I alternate them each day. And I'm sure that, I may change that. Right now, these are the ones that I'm using, and so I thought that I would share them with you. But they each have different kind of, some, like one kind of helps with anxiety, also increases your sex drive. One's good for really immune boosting. Like, so there's lots of, one's good for women, when you're with hormone changes and stuff like that. So there's lots of little things. They've got lots of minerals and nutrients and vitamins in them, but then they also have some of the properties that when we're using herbal medicine, that they have those properties in them. So, and it's really easy to make. Now, it is, a lot of people will recommend doing a quart of an herbal infusion a day. I do, this is about 2.5 cups. It's a mason jar. You have to make sure you have a mason jar, because you're going to be putting boiling water in that. And, I have found that this is fine for me. They do kind of recommend doing anywhere from, lots of different herbalists have different kind of things, but on the average, I find that people say to do anywhere from 2 to 4 cups a day. I do about 2.5 cups, which for me has been completely fine. And it's easy because the night before I go to bed, I'm always getting my coffee ready for the morning. But then I also get this ready, and I just boil some water. I put, you put an ounce of herb in a quart jar. So I put about a 1/2 ounce in here. So I put about a 1/2 ounce of the herb in. I boil some water. I pour the boiling water over it. I put a top on it, and I let it sit on the counter. And when I wake up in the morning, it's ready to go. And I just, I'm going to do this one for you. This is my one from last night, but I'm going to strain this one. This is Linden, which I really, I do love. It's a great anti-inflammatory, so this is definitely a good one to have. So it's fairly easy to do. It's better than doing vitamins, and they actually really taste great. They do have different tastes, so let me show you them and let you introduce you to some of my herbal infusions. So first we have stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is a very dark green herb. A lot of these herbs that we can find, a lot of them we can actually find in our yards and in the woods and fields. And stinging nettle is definitely one of them. A lot of people know stinging nettle because of those little stingers it has. If you walk past them, they have the little stingers on them, and they really hurt if you actually brush up against them. And actually, there's a lot of ancient people that actually use the stinging nettles. If they have like arthritis in their knee, they actually take the stinging nettle plant and actually whack them against their knee. I don't know how that, apparently it works, but I can imagine that it is a little bit painful. But this is stinging nettle. It is dry. You don't have to worry about any of those kind of properties. This is very safe to drink. This is really, really good. It's very nutritive. It's great for strengthening your kidneys, toning your lungs and intestines. It's great for bone and teeth health. It is really rich in calcium and magnesium. It's rich also in zinc, which is another great, zinc is really great when we're trying to boost our immune systems. Now, I will tell you that this herb, it's very grassy tasting. It did take a little bit for me to get used to it, but you can always add some kind of sweetener, whether it's something like stevia or honey. Of course, I would avoid any kind of sugar, but it is, when you brew it, it's a very dark green. It's a little grassy tasting, but if you sweeten it, it really tastes good. And it's a great, it's a really great starter if you're going to just start doing herbal infusions, because it's so high in vitamins and minerals and nutrients, and it's almost like nature's vitamin. So let's go on to the next one. Next we have Oatstraw. Oatstraw, see, I just love all of them. Oatstraw is very light, as you can see, the color. It also, when you boil it, it actually is a very light, very straw kind of look. It's very, very light. It is very light tasting. It is wonderful. It's another one. If you want to start off, and just start off with Oatstraw, just to start off with a very light kind of tasting. It doesn't have a very strong taste. It's really, really nice. Oatstraw is considered a nervine tonic. It's great for people who are stressed, having exhaustion, any kind of grief. It helps decrease inflammation in the body. So it's really great for those who have any kind of autoimmune disorder and a lot of inflammation. Although I definitely think that we all have inflammation in our body, and we really need to decrease that. But some people, especially with different medical conditions, have more inflammation, and this is definitely a good anti-inflammatory. It is also known as the love tonic. It is absolutely known to help increase your libido. So if your libido is a little bit down and you want a little increase in it, Oatstraw is definitely one that you want to try. It is high, again, another one that's high in magnesium and silicone. It's great for those who want to strengthen their bones. Very light tasting, very nice. Absolutely love this herb and this herbal infusion. Next we have red clover, which most of you are going to notice. It's a very common quote-unquote weed. I think it's not a weed, it's a beautiful herb. But that's this purpley pink flower that we see in our yards, and a lot of people want to get rid of, just like dandelions. Dandelions are also, they're a great herb. We can talk about that one day. But when we're talking about herbal infusions and we're talking about red clover, this is a beautiful, not only a beautiful flower, but also a beautiful herbal infusion. It's very light. It's a little bit stronger tasting than Oatstraw, but it's still a very light herb. It is world-renowned anti-cancer herb. It's part of one of the recipes. There's a recipe of a tea, I may pronounce it incorrectly, called Yasic tea, which was created by a Canadian nurse. And it's one of the herbs in this cancer tea that she created. So it's world-renowned for preventing cancer. It is also a hormone-nourishing herb. This is a great herb if you are going through menopause, if you're going through infertility issues. great hormone regulator. It's also great for being used externally if you were to infuse some oil with it and use it externally. It's skin nourishing, and it helps with like eczema and psoriasis. It's again a beautiful, beautiful herb. It's a great herbal infusion, very light and very tasty. Of course, I keep saying this with all of them. I love these herbal infusions. But this is just another one that I love and I feel is beautiful tasting, and it's beautiful to look at. Let's go to the next one. The last herb I want to share with you is linden leaf. This is another, again, I'll say it's a beautiful herb. It is a little bit, for me, it was a little bit initially a little bit hard to get used to. Sometimes they just kind of grow on you. This herb is very floral smelling and very floral tasting. So what I do is I actually put it in the refrigerator, and when I cool it, it makes it so much more better when I actually drink it. But this is a great, it's cooling, it's got mucilage properties, which basically means when you pour the other ones, they are very, they're like water, they're like tea. But when you do this, it's just a little bit thicker. It's great when you have a cold or a flu. It's great for sore throats, for a cough, because again, it's just going to coat your throat. It's an excellent relaxing nervine for any kind of nervous tension or stress. It's also great for nourishing the heart, for those who have high blood pressure. It is a really good, it's another anti-inflammatory herb. So this is really good. This is one that I definitely try to do at least twice a week. Very good. Again, it's a little floral smelling and tasting, but once I just started cooling it, it's so much better. Okay, so next I want to show you how I actually start off my herbal infusion. Things that you're going to need is definitely a mason jar. You're going to need a scale, and you're obviously going to need your boiling water and the top that goes onto your jar. Absolutely have to make sure that it is a mason jar that is heat resistant. Otherwise your glass will break and you'll have water all over the place. Like I said earlier, this is a 2.5 cup mason jar. There are herbalists that say you should do a quart a day. I have also read doing 2 to 4 cups a day. So I do 2.5 every day, which to me, it resonates with my body. I think that we all have a little intuitive feeling with our own bodies. If you feel like you need 4 cups, you're going through something and you're really trying to work on something and you need 4 cups, absolutely go for it. For me, I believe that I need 2.5 cups and it works perfectly for me. So when it comes to the amount of herb, if you're going to do a quart requires 1 ounce of the herb. I do a 1/2 ounce because I'm doing basically about a half. A quart is about 4 cups. This is about 2.5 cups. So of course you need your scale. I measured out my 1/2 ounce. I'm doing Oatstraw today, which I already have my Linden Leaf, which I'm going to show you how to decant that, but I'll do this and I'll have this for tomorrow. So you just put your herb into your cup. What I have kind of done is with all my herbs, I've kind of measured them out initially, and then I kind of know where on the jar is my 1/2 ounce. So I don't have to get my scale out every single time. So I just kind of know this is where this herb is, this is where this herb is. So just to give me, so I don't have to get that scale out every time. And I've already boiled my water, and basically it's just a matter of pouring. I kind of turn because I want to make sure that, I'm getting all the herb wet into the hot water, and I just keep turning and I fill it all the way to the top. I did forget hold on one second, I'm going to get a spoon, because typically what I do is I kind of take a spoon when I get to the top, because I want to get it as close to the top as I can, and I kind of push down on it, because sometimes not all the herb has been wet already, and you'll find the water level will actually go down a little bit, so I can really get it to the tippy top here. All right, and you can just see those herbs just moving around in there. Ooh, I love it. Okay, then you take your, this is a mason jar top, you just put that on top of there, screw it on, and then you just leave it on your countertop for overnight. Typically in a little while, because of the heat and because of the way this top is, you're going to hear a little, that's just sealing the mason jar, so don't worry about that. It's not going to explode or anything. So basically that's it. That is how I start my herbal infusion. Next I'm going to show you how I am going to decant. I'm going to decant my linden leaves, which I did last night. So next I just want to show you how I decant my herbal infusion. This is my linden leaf herbal infusion that I did last night. So basically you just need that. You need a, whatever it is that you plan on drinking your herbal infusion out of. I like to use glass, and I also like to recycle. This is a pretty cool jar. It was recycled from spaghetti, and it has like, it's got a little mason on it. It's got the little measurements on it. So I really like this little jar. So that's what I use, but you can use anything that you want. If you have a to-go mug or a big glass that you drink out of every day, whatever makes you happy. And then a bowl. After I decant it, I put my used herbs in here, and then I actually compost all of the herbs that I use. I'm a firm believer that Mother Earth Gaia has given us wonderful plants with lots of medicinal properties, and the best way to get rid of them is put them back to the earth so that they get back into the ground, those nutrients that are, maybe there's some nutrients still left in there, and to give that back. Of course, if you can't, that's fine, but if you can, even if you have a little garden or something in the back, definitely put them back in there. And then a strainer. Now typically I just use one strainer, but the linden leaves, there's a lot of fine little particles in this from the flowers and stuff like that. So I actually use a 2-tier system to make sure that all that little stuff doesn't get in there. Sometimes it kind of helps. So sometimes you got to be careful because lots of the herbs, some of the herb may be still left up at the top, and you don't want it to just into there because it's going to be a big mess. So typically you just kind of do it very slowly, just so that mess doesn't come in. I don't know if you can kind of see, it's a little bit more thicker than water because it has this mucilage kind of properties to it, and it's really, I love this one. Again, it's a little floral tasting. I have gotten over that. I do love it. I put it in the refrigerator. I did have a suggestion from somebody one time about actually, this is a little heavy, here we go. Instead of, because I was like, I don't know if I really like this herb, but I really want the great properties from it. And someone had suggested to me to actually, do exactly what I'm doing, then put the liquid into ice cube trays and make ice cubes out of them. And then when I'm drinking my other infusions, to use for ice, use the linden leaf. Ice cubes, which I thought was a actual brilliant idea. I haven't done it so far because I've kind of have enjoyed doing this after it gets cold. So once you want to just kind of get it in there like that, it does take a little bit of a thing, and then just you're going to press because there's going to be lots of great little properties in there. So you want to just kind of press that all down. All right. And then I just put that in there, and then sometimes I got a little extra stuff, so I just kind of get that out there. Yeah, perfect. And then squeeze that out there. All right. And then you have your herbal infusion, and you're ready to go. And all you got to do is, like for me, again, I put this in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, and it's perfect. If you want to just take it with you to work, I typically put a straw, put the top on, go to work with the other ones, and then throughout the day I just, I like to drink out of a straw, so I use the straw, but you can do it anyway. And they're wonderful and they're great. I love them. So those are herbal infusions. I've shared 4 of them that I typically use every week throughout the week. There are lots of other herbs that you can use for infusions. Not all herbs can be used with infusions, so I will put a list of some down below for you. Another great one is red raspberry leaf, which is actually great if you're pregnant. There is actually research that shows that women who did herbal infusions of red raspberry leaf during pregnancy had better labor outcomes. So if you're pregnant, make sure you do a little research and see if that's a wonderful herbal infusion that you can add to your daily regime. And as I say with everybody in all my videos, herbal medicine and herbs need to be honored and respected. They do wonderful things. It is nature's medicine. So when you are going to start doing these things in your life, you have to make sure that, one, sometimes they may interact with medications that you're taking, or if you have a medical condition, maybe there's a certain infusion or herb that you should not be taking. So make sure that you do your homework. Either then you also get in touch with an herbalist, an herbal educator, anybody that has knowledge, or make sure that you do your own research to make sure that that herb is the best herb for you and it's actually going to be beneficial for you and not cause any kind of problems. So, and if you want to, you can always make an appointment with me to further talk about it. So I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you add herbal infusions to your life. They're simple to do. They are nature's vitamins. They're nature's vitamins. When you take a vitamin from the store that's been manufactured in some kind of factory somewhere, your body doesn't know how to process that as much as it does an herbal infusion. So if you're doing an herbal infusion, you're getting so much more of that nutrients in your body than as compared to taking a vitamin. And it's a great thing, an easy way to just add to your daily life. This is mine. I have my jar, like I said, I put my straw in it and I drink it throughout the day, and I absolutely love them. Again, if you have any questions, make sure that you reach out. Thank you for watching, and remember, women's health matters. Our bodies matter. So let's make sure that we take care of ourselves so we can live a long and healthy life. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you soon.